Now that you have the source code for Enchanting, you need to build it. We've got a page on building Enchanting here on the site. And here's what you need to do. So first, here's our files. There's this now on the trunk revision. We've got a back-end folder and a front-end folder, and we need to prepare both. We'll bring up a command prompt. This is right now in Users Clinton Demonstrations. So we will go cd, and the tilde represents Users Clinton Demonstrations, and I'm using tab completion. And we might as well go into Enchanting trunk. And now we're in the folder here. Let's get the back end working first. So I'm going to go into the back end directory, which looks like this. And there's a bunch of Java files in here, and we need to build them. Currently the process is just to run the build command. So we'll go into, well, actually I'm in the directory. I can just go /build. And if you're on Windows, you'll just want to run build.bat. And now we've got these .class files in here, and that's done everything we need. So the back end is now built. And of course you can edit these files, the Java files, to change what the back end does. Now let's go into the front end directory. What we want to do is, there's these two files, baseenchanting.image and baseenchanting.changes. These files change all the time, so it doesn't make sense to have the current file in source control. And because of that, our first step is to duplicate these files. So I'm going to duplicate baseenchanting.image, and I'm going to name it to be enchanting.image, and I'm going to do the same for the changes file. Oops, I think I hit the wrong thing. Duplicate. OK, and rename. And of course you can do this at a command prompt if you'd rather. Now that I've done that, I can run this one, Enchanting.fe, that stands for front end, .app or .exe. And this just runs the front end without anything else. So here's Enchanting as it comes up. I might need to resize this. Here's how you do that. I've got a very small Windows resolution, so things show up clearly on the video. If I right click, these things come up called halos. If you hover over them, it shows what they do. This one here will let me resize it. And I want to make sure that we're in the smallest stage size, and we are. So there, that's a little bit smaller. I can also click here to minimize the scratch frame, and click here to bring it back. And there's a bunch of other stuff here. Here's some instructions for getting going. This is actually some of the code, and I'll get to that in a later video. What you want to do now is to bring this up to date. So how I've set this up is, here in the front end there's a folder called classes, and this has all of the classes filed out of the image. The image kind of contains everything, and to put it into source control you need to take the parts of it, the components that tell it what it does, and make them as files on the directory system, and those can be managed by source control. So we want to get the latest version of those files into the image, which contains everything, and to do that we click on File. Now it doesn't have a lot right now, but if you hold down the Shift button and click on it, you get much more. And here's the one we want, Import from Version Control. And this loads in all of those files and changes what is in the source in the image. Now after you've done that, there's one more step. I shift click on File again. You notice this menu's changed because the source has changed. Here's the one, Apply all updates to the environment. And for example, you notice a little NXT icon will show up here. Alright, and this also shows we don't have any connection to the back end. We've got a configure motors button and stuff. So this has worked properly. If you don't want to tinker on the code, then you'll want to go File and go Save Image in User Mode. Sure, why don't I just do that right now? Close the non-scratch windows and save the image in end user mode? Yes. Now, having done that, if I run the Enchanting front end application again, here it is in end user mode. And this is just what an end user would see. If you want to get out of this, you can hold down Shift when you click on it and choose exit user mode. And here we're back in this mode. If I wanted, I can bring up some of those other windows like the class browser, which again I'll get into in another video. And you can continue to work on it here. Under normal circumstances, if you're doing development, you're not going to want to go save image in user mode. You just want to keep working on it. And in which case, you will do your work. And when you're ready to quit, you can choose save or save and quit. Or if you don't want to save your changes, just quit. And periodically, it's a good idea to delete your enchanting image and your enchanting changes. To go back to the start and rename base enchanting and make sure that all your code changes work when they are brought into a pristine environment. Now, I think that explains everything you need to know about getting enchanting ready. Now that we've done this, we can actually run enchanting, which will be the next video.